Before I go any farther, one of the things that I'd like to address is your why. Obviously, there's a lot of information I'm going to be giving you here shortly, and in that process, I just want to clearly identify what is it that you're listening for and your why. The one thing that I can definitely tell you is, as I've had this conversation with hundreds, if not thousands of people, is that the clear understanding of their purpose is oftentimes lacking. And so I just want you to understand that the more clear it is as to why you're going to be doing this, the more likely it is that you're going to achieve it. Let me give you an example. One of the things that often holds us back from any type of success is literally fear. It's the fear of the unknown. It's the state of confusion. And when a confused mind is in that state, the answer is always no, because it's just not clear what needs to happen next. So I do want to encourage you to identify for yourself what it is that you want to accomplish as you hear all this, because the whole intent of this is to act, to move forward, to implement, to actually do something about it. So whether you're identifying your reason as financial freedom, you want to earn more, you want to supplement your income, that's great, that's wonderful. If it's a matter of freedom, you feel that you can actually, by being your own boss, get some freedoms and liberties that you don't otherwise afford or experience right now, that's amazing. Perhaps it's the fact that you're in a position with your experience that you feel you can give back and actually make the difference in many business owners' lives as you take to them the experiences you've had, your expertise, your skill. That's incredible. But the point is clearly define what it is you're trying to accomplish as you're starting or building your business. And in doing so, you'll get the clarity you need to actually move forward. Why? Because you have a reason, a purpose. You have actually something to motivate you through those challenging times. The one thing that I can definitely encourage you to consider is this phrase, this very simple phrase. Simply state, I am in the process of. I am in the process of. It allows you to take what's in the future and bring it to the present. I'm in the process of getting clients. I'm in the process of growing my business. I'm in the process of offering quality accounting services. I'm in the process of getting paid what I'm worth. Whatever that process is, bring it into the now. And in doing so, set that mindset that you need in order to be successful. Why? It's time you need to remove that doubt that you may have, the fear that you're perhaps experiencing. And as you learn these various principles that I'm about to share with you, actually take them and act, move forward, implement them, and do so confidently. So with that context, that premise, I encourage you to be teachable. Be teachable, be willing to listen, be willing to learn, and in this, actually try and implement the proven processes that you're going to be learning today. Now that you're ready to move beyond deciding, planning, let's move into executing. And the big part of execution is getting a clear understanding of what needs to be done. So one of the things that I want to understand is your business plan. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? So let's start with essentially what your needs are. And we're going to begin with the financial needs. We need to consider, obviously, the services you want to provide. So I'm going to break them down into three areas. Very simple. It's the bookkeeping and accounting services that you may choose to provide and offer to business clients. It is the tax services that you may choose to offer business clients, and perhaps the CFO and advisory services that you can also offer. Now, these three things are ones that you get to decide. It's your business whether or not you're choosing to do each of them. A full service accounting business would obviously include all three. So with that context, let's go ahead and begin with what are the services you're offering, and then you need to, when doing that, define the benefits that the client receives when you're performing those tasks. Now we're going to get to the benefits here shortly, but in order to move forward, I think it's now that we need to look at your earning potential and get a clear understanding with your business plan is how many clients it will take to meet your financial goals offering one or more of these services. So we're going to start with bookkeeping, and we're going to keep this very, very simple. If you have a pen and paper in hand, this is going to be quick and easy. Basically, what you need to do is define on an annual basis how much revenue you need to be earning in your business. Now, once you have that number, just write that number down. We're going to now take that number and divide it by 6,000. 6,000 happens to be the average fee that a bookkeeping service will pay, or a bookkeeping client will pay for your services. Now that $6,000 a year is obviously $500 a month. That is the national average for bookkeeping services. So admittedly, you could be living in a market that charges much more than that. You could be in a more rural area that could be charging a little less than that. Either way, you're going to have clients that may be a little less than $500. You may have clients that pay you $1,500, $3,000 a month. Perfectly fine. But the average, let's just start there and use the numbers that we have. Using that $500 a month bookkeeping client, that $6,000 a year bookkeeping client, you just simply divide the annual revenue that you would like to earn for your business from that, and you've clearly identified how many bookkeeping clients it will take to meet your financial goals. Now, the first thing I want to clearly state here is you can literally have two numbers. You can have what you financially need to meet the lifestyle that you're currently accustomed to, what you would like to actually be earning to have a familiar lifestyle, and then your goals as to, here's what I want, this is what I think I deserve, this is what I'd ultimately like to have. Both numbers are excellent, but obviously the need is the most important one because that's where you're going to be meeting all of your financial obligations, and that's fine. Take that number, divide it by 6,000, and it tells you how many clients you're going to need. So in my example, let's just assume that I wanted to make $60,000 a year. I'm making $6,000 per client. I need 10 clients. 10 clients is very important to know because with those 10 clients, I need to understand how much time will it take on my part to service those 10 clients. And that brings us to our next point. When you're offering bookkeeping services, the average is about 8 to 10 hours a month to provide those services. So if I'm literally taking 10 hours, the most that it typically takes to do the work for a client, 10 hours into 500 means that I'm going to be earning $50 an hour. Now, my goal is to obviously figure out how through with processes and systems, how I can do it more efficiently and do it in 8 hours, do it in 7 hours, do it in 6 hours. That's my challenge, charging that same $500 average. But the beauty of it is if I know that I need 10 clients and the average client is taking me 10 hours, that obviously says that each and every month I'm going to be working how many hours? 100 hours a month. So 10 clients times 10 hours per client, 100 hours per month. Well, if I'm working, let's say, part-time, if I'm doing, let's say, 30 hours a week, 30 times 4 is 120 hours, more than enough to take care of the clients that I'm servicing. So the last point I'd like to make is on average, an individual bookkeeper or an accountant can work with as many as 15 to 20 clients, taking care of their monthly needs and obviously retaining them. So here's your formula. There's part of your business plan if you're simply offering bookkeeping services. It's the $6,000 a year that you're dividing into your annual want or goal, and from that determining the number of clients needed, and then quickly doing the math to determine do you have the bandwidth to take care of those needs on a monthly basis, realizing that at most they typically on average take about 10 hours a month to take care of. So there's your bookkeeping and accounting services. Let's now go into tax. The second core business service that you can provide and offer is tax planning and preparation. Tax planning and preparation is wonderful, especially if you're doing the bookkeeping and accounting, because there you're producing all the numbers needed to do the tax filing for the business. So what we want to talk about now is your ability to do the tax planning and preparation for your clients and getting paid for those services. So the first thing I want to do is just show you the financial element to it. You've got them as a bookkeeping client. They're paying you on a monthly basis to take care of their bookkeeping and accounting needs. So now each year you're going to be doing the tax filing. Well, on average, you're looking at more than about $1,500 per business client on average to file their return. And what we're going to do is actually take that and annualize that. Take that fee, and rather than charging them during the tax season a lump sum for that service, we're going to amortize it over the year and charge them each and every month about $125, $150 a month to take care of their tax planning and their preparation. Therefore, when it comes tax time, they're not having to pay a lump fee for our services. We've already acquired them as a client. We don't have to worry about them come tax season looking for someone else. And in that time, we're not just doing the books, but we're looking at what type of tax strategies we can implement with the client. Now, the thing I want to emphasize here is there's an annual process to this that's more than just during the tax season doing the filing or perhaps doing an extension. What it consists of is during the tax year also doing planning. The way I would suggest you consider doing this with your clients is in the first quarter of the year, you're perhaps preparing all the returns and filing them as necessarily. The second quarter, what you want to have done is during the tax season, you're plenty busy, you don't have time for this, but you can set aside those clients where you've identified missed opportunities or things they can be doing in their business that would help them from a tax perspective that they missed out on in the previous year perhaps. So in the second quarter, you're going to meet with them, spend time with them going over these things that they should do in their business this new year. And then in the third or fourth quarter, meet with them again to ensure that those were implemented, but also to assess, are there any other tax strategies that need to be utilized before the end of the year to ensure that they're limiting their tax liability. Look at the tax planning you're doing, and now you're ready for the tax preparation, all of which your client is paying for on a monthly basis above and beyond the bookkeeping services that you're providing. So if you look at the lifetime value of your client, a traditional client that's paying you on average $500 a month, $6,000 a year, the AICPA says that the bookkeeping client stays around for as many as 6 or 7 years. So if we take 7 times 6 and get the $42,000 that that client is worth to you, and add to it then the tax services that you're providing, where you're charging perhaps as much as $2,000 a year for your tax services, doing planning as well, you could be upwards of $60,000 per client that you're retaining over a lifetime value of that business. Now, one of the things I want to stress here is just consider when you're taking on the marketing and sales process, that expense that you're incurring to acquire the client, you can see it's well worth what you're going to be ultimately paid as you work with that business over the course of 6-7 years, getting paid tens of thousands of dollars to take care of their accounting and tax needs. Those are the first 2 core services that you can be providing in your business, earning obviously what you deserve as an accounting professional.